divine. Dadami, I give. Te, you. Chakshuhu, eyes. Pashya, see. Me, my. Yogam, Ashwaram, inconceivable mystic power. Never but me able to see by this certainly with your own eyes. Divine, I give you eyes, see my inconceivable mystic power. Translation. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give to you divine eyes, by which you can behold my mystic influence. Purport. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjun is told not to change his mind but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in the verses. Yet, because Arjun wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. The Supreme Person is considered as the impersonal Brahman by great sages, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the devotees, and as a product of this material nature by ordinary men. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned to see the Vishwarupa, the universal form, but Arjun wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the supreme but actually presented himself as such to Arjun. Arjun must confirm this because Arjun is the beginning of the parampara system. Those who are actually interested to understand the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footsteps of Arjun should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually revealed himself as the Supreme. The Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So, in this verse, Lord is talking about divine eyes. So, Arjuna can see Krishna's mystic opulence. Normally, we cannot see divine powers and things happening in mystical way. As Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that a devotee must see with the spiritual eyes, not with the mind. Our mind is flickering and not stable. Mind can concoct anything about Krishna. So here it is said that to be speculate with mind, so not to speculate with the mind. All the problems happens because when we see things on mental platform, because that is what we are conditioned for. But here Lord is talking about divine vision, which is only gained by the mercy of the Lord. Another point is here that Arjuna did not particularly want to see this form of Krishna, but still he wishes for it. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada explained that devotees want to see Krishna in his original form so they can establish relationship with him. And as it is mentioned that Srila Prabhupada said that godless display of opulence. So yes, universal form is gigantic and full of different opulences, but not a personal form. That's why Srila Prabhupada says godless. We need a person for relationship. And for my stage, I cannot even fathom this universal form. So Krishna is so merciful that he accepts to come as deity form and in the holy name form. So we can have a contact with him. And the last point I have realized that people want to see God when we see wonders of material nature and catastrophic events around us. In this form of Krishna is very scary. But when we chant the holy name and try to see Krishna in the sound, that is giving me solace. Actually, that is the only thing I can do. Like it's in my hand to chant the holy name of the Lord, because I can associate with Krishna all the time. Because anytime anything can happen, and no chance to see deities or other paraphernalia. Only the holy name I can chant. That is also only because causeless mercy of Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. Because in a any in a last moment or any moment of accident or whatever, if you're not remembering Krishna, that is very a dangerous situation. It's because of the mercy of Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, we are able to chant and remember. Other than that, it's no way, it's no chance. So seeing this divine, talking about this divine vision here in this verse, because all the mystic powers and big yogis, they do meditations, they try to get a mystic powers so they can see mystic opulences or energies of the Lord. But as Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, that devotee is only interested in the personal form of the Lord because of the personal relationship. And this material gigantic form or material nature is for the ordinary people who, who are not devotees. So that's what I realized from this verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you. His Grace Amrish Prabhu, His Grace Padmapagi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for organizing this program and giving us opportunity to share our realization on this Bhagavad Gita verse. And thank you, Sanjay Prabhu, for your nice realization. Nato mam shakse drushtam ananaiva swachakshusha divyam dadati te chakshu पश्चिमे योग महे पश्चिमे योग महेश्वरम Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give to you divine eyes by which you can behold my mystic opulence. So Srila Prabhupada has actually given a very nice purport on this verse. So this is a continuation from the previous verse, where actually Arjuna desired to see the universal form of Krishna. So now Krishna is actually revealing that to Arjuna, but with the material eyes, he cannot see that form. So here Krishna is saying that he's giving him the divine eyes, by which he can actually behold, his mystic opulence or that form. So the first statement here, Srila Prabhupada may make, the pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with the two hands. So that's actually the original form, the Shamsundar form. So devotees only interested, on that form, and they focus on the lotus feet of Krishna. Whereas actually here, the universal form of the Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says, is not very important because it's material form, it's inferior form. So I was actually meditating on this point, and why devotees only interested in Krishna's two-handed form, the original form, and not in other forms. So actually, further in purport, actually, Srila Prabhupada make it very clear that actually devotees, they have a loving relationship with the Krishna. They love Krishna, and they have actually a relationship with the Krishna. So as we studied previously, that one can have 5 different kind of relationships. One can be friend, one can be parent, one can be lover, and so on. One can be servant. So for pure devotees, so also I remembered actually, Bishpo mentioned many moons ago when we were actually discussing about the gopis of the Vrindavan, and where Bishpo said that actually gopis love Krishna because he's Krishna, not because he's a supreme personality of Godhead. They even don't know. So that is actually the difference, because when we actually means when I started, the first point of attraction is the Krishna is the supreme, and then comes his opulences, 6 opulences of Krishna. So when we actually study the previous chapter, where studied the actually opulences, where it is also said that everyone is attracted to Krishna, to some kind of opulence. Some may be attracted to the knowledge, some may be attracted to the wealth, some may be attracted to the strength. So even for me, actually, our devotional service begin, when we actually do the deity worship. There's a lot of awe and reverence. So we know that Krishna is the supreme, and that's why we worship him. There's a lot of respect. There's a lot of we have to follow all the rules and regulations and all that. But the actual ultimate goal, as Srila Prabhupada make it clear, that one has to actually develop a relationship. Not develop, is already there. We have to actually just revive it. So that is really means, I think, I thought is really important point to understand, because we cannot understand because we're not there at the stage. And one has to actually get to the stage, and one has to learn to love Krishna because he's Krishna, not because he's a supreme personality of Godhead. But how to do that means I do not know at this stage, but I think the process is there. Hopefully, if we progress, it will be revealed. But I think that is very important point. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that actually pure devotee, they are not interested in any other form, because they are not interested in the opulence of Krishna. They actually love Krishna because he is Krishna. So that is actually the most important point, I think, what I realize. And second one is also, Srila Prabhupada says that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna actually presented himself theoretically and philosophically as well. So Arjuna, he's actually, he's re-establishing, Krishna is re-establishing the new parampara, starting from the Arjuna. So it is important that actually he should also see the universal form, the material form. And actually, the reason was actually already Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the previous verses, that maybe in the future or even in the present, a lot of people challenge Krishna's authority. So, or maybe in the future, some may present themselves as a supreme God. So at that stage, they have to also reveal their universal form, if, just to challenge them, just to make sure they are actually what they're claiming is actually the truth. And also, Arjuna has actually seen it, confirmed it, So I understand actually that point as well, that yes, Bhagavad Gita is there, but there is a lot of philosophical points are given by Krishna, a lot of theory, and we have to actually put that in practice. But actually, for ordinary people or one who do not have a full faith, for them, I think this universal form, where actually Krishna is revealing to Arjuna, may actually make their faith stronger as well. So these are the points I realized. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much, Sanjay Prabhu and Srila Prabhu, for your very nice realizations. Nato mam shakyase drashum anenaiva smachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuho pashyame yogam aishwaram. Translation: Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. So, Srila Prabhu and Sanjay Prabhu gave some very nice points. I'd just like to say a couple of my realizations from this verse. Number one is actually from the first sentence of the purport, in which Srila Prabhupada says that a devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. So Arjuna is told not to change his mind, but his vision. So this is very, very important point, that even for impersonalists, there's no room for speculation. We cannot speculate on Krishna's, universal form. That we need the eyes to see, and so it's only by Krishna's mercy that this can be shown. It's not that we can just speculate on it just by doing some dogmatic meditation or whatever it may be. So even to see that which even devotees are not do not consider very important is still very we must be very careful as well not to speculate, and that's why Lord Krishna showed his Vishvarupa to Arjuna, and the nice descriptions are given in the next verses. So Arjuna did this, as Srila Prabhu said, and as Sanjay Prabhu also said, that Lord Arjuna did not really want to see the universal form, but he did so, for us and for future generations. So theoretically and philosophically, and also another point is that again, with the universal form, impersonalists, they cannot understand that there's more than the Vishvarupa, and it's a very amazing point that devotees of Lord Krishna are not at all, do not consider the Vishvarupa important. Many people may look at this as universal form as the answer to everything, to see in context the holistic view of the entire universes emanating from Lord Krishna. But devotees of Lord Krishna just want to have a relationship with him in the different rasas. So all of these things are not trivial, but they are not as important. So it's amazing because this transcends everything. The purpose of life is, where am I? What is my position in this world, etc., etc. All these materialists have all these questions, but purpose of life for a devotee is to love Krishna. So it's a complete difference in mentality with which a devotee of the Lord and the personal relationship with Lord Krishna is compared to someone who just looks at the universal form as the source of all the answers. And yet that that form is not important. Bhakti yoga is important. So this is why what Srila Prabhupada's given us in the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, all these books is very important, because it's not, these points have not been clearly made before, this personal aspect of Krishna. There's been so much cloud of impersonalism throughout Sanatana Dharma. As we see, as we all know, most of India is actually quite impersonal, and therefore Shankaracharya's teachings, to whatever capacity. But here Srila Prabhupada is very clearly making a distinction between how practices of bhakti yoga and people who want to, the difference between personalism and impersonalism, and why personalism is much more enriching and much more permanent. So yeah, that's my realization. Hare Krishna.
We'll wait for 10 seconds to Mataji. Hare Krishna. Gauri Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji, I'm outside and I can't give the realization, Prabhuji, sorry.
Oh, you
I
not
read
right.
the verse, but I didn't. I just have to come in the emergency, Prabhuji. But I read the verse, Prabhuji, but I didn't write my realization, sorry.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for a very nice realization. For preparing and come and those who couldn't. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. So, all of you gave very, very nice realization. And as usual, I would like to give some pointers. And with pointers, we can point at different other aspects of spiritual things and material things. So it's a bit of a freedom for me to go a bit more stretched, more stretched with regards to different aspects of spirituality. If you cannot hear me, just let me know, okay? Or if I'm low, just let me know. So the thing is this, that we have no idea about death, We have no idea. And when we are put in any difficulty, we will not even know what to do. So, the greatest of the yogi, when they are in any difficulty, then they fall back upon their practice that they've been doing. That's what we do. Chant for a number of rounds every day, read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, read Chaitanya Charitamrita, think over it, associate with devotees, and talk with about Krishna. And Krishna says that I give the intelligence by which they can come to me. Because they're constantly thinking like this. And yes, we have to maintain our body, our life, and that is going to be troublesome more and more. We had discussed a year ago, 2 years ago, after COVID, we said that life will be completely different after COVID. Totally different. Now you see, is it not different? At the time, we did not realize it. So, yeah, it will be different, it may be different. We do not know what different it will be. It's totally different. Completely upside down. Every one of us. We must contemplate like this. So what happens is that as devotees, we have to be very intelligent. This is the fundamental aspect of devotional life. Only when we are very intelligent, not just intelligent, very intelligent, that we can see what is going on around us. And after that, based upon that, we can forecast what's going to happen. And with that, we have to modify and adapt our devotional service. Otherwise, if we do not adapt, if we do not move like water, we'll be stuck in a tank and be diseased. We may think we are performing devotional service. There is also an illusion. So the thing is this, that intelligently we have to look at intensifying our bhakti along with all the changes that is taking place around us. We cannot stop these changes which are taking place. They are beyond us. But just like when there is wildfire, the protection is there. Everything around you, around us, will be burning, but will be protected. This is the mercy of Krishna. This is how Krishna is to be seen. This is how we understand Krishna as a person. Because only a person can help a person. And energy cannot help a person. Energy always needs an energetic. The gopis were the most intelligent. Most intelligent. I tell you. You see, when Akrura, we discussed it in the past a little bit, you know. So when Akrura Maharaj, when he came to take Krishna away, Mother Yashoda, Nand Maharaj, all the cowherd boys adults, he could convince them. Of course, they were not ready. But he convinced them. No, no, no. See, Krishna's parents are over there. All the Yadus are frightened. They are living in the shadow of death at every moment. So he has to go there at the invitation of Kamsa, and he has to kill Kamsa. Please, let him go. And they agreed. They even thought that he's going only for a few days. But the gopis, when they heard this, that Akrura has come, they were finished. They said to Akrura, "You are cruel. You're not Akrura. You are very cruel." They even said, "What is going on? All these people are now going with Krishna to Mathura with all this paraphernalia to be given to the king of Mathura, Kamsa. What are they doing? We are finished." In fact, if Guru Maharaj gives a chance and all of you have a desire, then you remind me. This is the most cruel part, heart-wrenching episode in devotional service of the gopis. They say, "What are these guys doing?" They had to plan. Now is the time to give up our shame and come forward. It's not going to happen. And one particular sentence, they say that now the time is against us. Everything is against us. The wailing and crying. Akrura is going to take Krishna away. The next day, Akrura got up, packed his bags with the Krishna, and they left. Just like, when you are suffering, but the world is moving around. If in your job, so the boss comes, asks us to leave, and his next day is coming and doing his job. Everybody else is doing their job, and you are left out. We can think only about job. But for the gopis, it is their life and soul. And Akrura left with Krishna. Of course, Akrura had to suffer. He did not apologize to the gopis. He could not pacify. Not to pacify the gopis. He didn't do it. So that's very intelligent. And they predicted. They said that all the inhabitants of Mathura, they will enjoy Krishna now. The women, the men. And that's what happened. When Krishna Balaram went to Mathura, all of them, they just heard about Krishna. When they saw them, they couldn't believe what was happening. Their beauty, their strength, their intelligence, their opulence. So, only Krishna Bhaje Sevar Chatur, Prabhupada says. We have to be super intelligent, introspectively intelligent. There is no option for us. Even if we cannot have intelligence, then have intelligence in surrendering to Krishna. But there is, by chanting the holy names, have faith in chanting the holy names. But there is no option to say, "I did not know." Oh, is it? Oh, is it so? If this is how your devotional service you cannot protect. Gopis knew he's not going to come back. Krishna is not going to come back once he goes. Others did not know. They thought he's going for a couple of days only. He never came back. He never ever came back. The gopis knew. They were the only ones who knew. Just imagine. Simple cowherd women in a small village, forest village. Vrindavan is a forest village. It's not a village, it's a forest village. Village in the forest. They did not have, they were not some big, opulent houses they were staying in. They were not wearing some super duper big garments like what you find in Mathura and big cities. They don't have facilities, but they're very intelligent. So remember this. There is no excuse not to be intelligent. This is how one has to understand how the gopis love Krishna. Otherwise, just an episode. Yeah, Gopi said this, you were crying, your heart went, it was finished. No, they were the only ones who knew that he's not going to come back. This is intelligence. And to understand is the mercy of Krishna and intelligence. So please, to understand Krishna as a person, we understand it only through our intelligence, through our knowledge. We can gain through intelligence. No matter how much excuse you give, I'm very busy, I have to do this, I have to do that, no problem. It's entirely up to us how busy we are or how busy we are not. So intelligently we have to follow the teachings of Acharyas. And for us it is teachings of Srila Prabhupada. And the same teachings of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev got purified by learning those teachings. And Srila Gurudev preached that same teaching, but in the mood of Maharaj by Srila Gurudev. And that we have to pick up. So the fountainhead is Srila Prabhupada. You must never forget this. Never forget what he has done for every one of us. And for all humanity to come in the future. For next 10,000 years. As he said, my books will be law books. So we have to be very careful what books it is. Please. This is my point. These 3 pointers I wanted to share. As I said, some of us may not be very intelligent. But chanting of the holy name is going to be very intelligent in that. Somebody who surrendered to the chanting of the holy name is very intelligent. There's no other escape. Because I'm telling you though, when the time comes, we'll never know whether to look left or to look right or what to do. At the time, automatically we should come back to our chanting. And when we are in good health, then we can meditate upon Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, and devotees' pastimes, and how they have participated. When time comes, there is no time for past. Okay, thank you very much. This is what I wanted to realize. I realized when I shared whatever it is worth. Please excuse me. If you have anything to ask or anything to share, please feel free. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. All right, then we come to the conversation today, the class today. Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki Jai.
Jai,
Jai.
Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Jai,
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai.
Jai,
Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila
Jai,
Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri
Jai,
Chaitanya Krishna Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Sintai
Jai.
Gaur Chandra Premanande. Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bol. Hare
Okay, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you. Just don't go away for now. Just wait. Krishna, can you please?